It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, I got to say this NCEA debacle's really frustrated me this week to the point that I'm actually angry about what our kids have been through and how much we've let them down. When I say we've let them down, I mean successive governments, education ministers, policy wonks, educators, education leaders and even teachers to a point. This is on you. And this is your area of expertise, and you've used our kids as guinea pigs in a flakey system that's taught them, well, not much, not many of the basics, and it certainly hasn't taught them resilience when the going gets tough. NCEA was an excuse for kids to tap out, to not try, to take the easy route, and not turn up at all because, apparently I've already passed. How could we have just allowed a 23-year failed project involving 170,000 kids per year to have been simply rolled over every year? Every summer we go back for more, knowing it was so badly letting down our kids. It was a giant fraud. It dumbed everything down and everyone down, and no one failed. And those in the know, they knew. The 9 ministers who all oversaw it at some stage, they knew. We opened the school gates every year after a massively long 8 weeks off, plus the teacher-only day that no doubt they put in there as well, to welcome our kids into a system that we knew was broken. We knew it was being gamed. We knew it wasn't teaching them much, and we knew the teachers were tied up in everything else but teaching. And we let this roll over and repeat the failure 23 times, or for 23 long years. It really was the curse of low expectations, or the curse of low ambition. Kids were bored, but enjoyed the easy ride, and besides, the results showed they were passing. So passing what? They could have been passing wind. They got merit for passing wind. I mean, they didn't pass much. But to throw them to the wolves for 23 consecutive years, knowing how bad the system was, is knowingly, in my view, totally gross negligence. 3.9 million students over all that time. That's negligence on a grand scale, isn't it? Teachers knew it was no good. They knew it was no good as early as 2005. I've read the PPTA reports on this. And teachers said they were teaching less, students were learning less, it was gruelling, and nearly every teacher who was asked about it in 2005 said the system needs to go back to how it was. That was 20 years ago. We've only just got getting there now. It must surely go, was one of the teachers' blunt assessments. It's got to go, they said. Another teacher said she was teaching way less and the kids were learning less as a result. The report said our kids had worked out ways to get around this thing, to gain credits for simply turning up. Yet if this is how teachers felt, where was the collective noise from teachers? Downing tools and marching in the streets for these kids. They marched for their own pay and conditions, but where were they on a grand scale when it came to students' futures and their concern over student outcomes? It's kind of personal for me now, isn't it? How come we've allowed 23 years of failure to simply continue year after year? Why didn't teachers and principals blow the whistle in a way that no one could ignore them earlier on? If it's as bad as we all agree it is, and given teachers were banging their heads against the wall as early as 2005, why did we allow such failure to drag on? Why did no minister take responsibility for stopping the rot? What else were you doing? You eating your lunch at Parliament? What was more important than kids' futures? National and Labour ministers, they're all complicit. They're all far too busy doing anything but decent work. Stanford's doing hard work now. 170,000 guinea pigs every year, and ministers sat there knowing the system was stuffed and they did nothing. I wish they could be held accountable. I mean, Chris Hipkins is still standing. He wants to be the Prime Minister. I bet he wants to forget the NCEA mess. He was the Education Minister. What did he do when he had the power to do something? What was he waiting for? Another bloody report that was negative about it? Firstly, all my kids have gone or are going through this NCEA system. My youngest guy will be the last group of students who graduates with an NCEA qualification. Isn't he lucky? Before the new system takes hold. Given what I'm now aware of with NCEA, it's like sending him to school to take part in some kind of legal torture where you know he won't come home better off or more informed or curious about the world. Sadly, NCEA is the opposite of ambition or ambitious. It takes teachers away from teaching. Kids don't so much learn, they just know how to game the system and get credits. So it looks like they've passed, but they've passed nothing. And what does merit excellence mean? What does achieved merit and excellence mean? It's all one of the same, isn't it? They learn jack shit. And what makes me so frustrated is how long we kept NCEA knowing it was crap. 9 ministers of education overseeing NCEA over 23 years. 9 ministers. Chris Hipkins, Ann Tolley, Chris Carter, they're all there. Not one of them thought it was their job to stop the rot while they could. Why aren't they held accountable? They just get to walk away, and they have. The failure simply repeated, then repeated, and repeated again. Chris Hipkins, he wants your vote now, but he was there. He was the education minister who did nothing to change it. Just keep reminding yourself that. I sent my girls off to college trusting they were getting a good education. In hindsight, as I look back now, I could never make head or tail of what they were actually being taught. Their school reports used Words like the merit, achieved, and excellence. They conned me. What's the damn difference? Merit, achieved, and excellence. I have no idea. Let me give an indication of how big this is, how big the cock-up is. 170,000 kids every year are in NCEA. So over the past 23 years, we've churned out something like almost 4 million kids. And we did so, I believe, knowing that we were selling them short and selling future employers short. We were cutting corners, and worst of all, we had them in a system that sadly had been taken over by a lack of ambition, in a system where no one failed. How can no one fail? I had guys in my class who were there for the second and third time. They stayed there. Their best 3 years were in fifth form. I've gone through all the reports on NCEA, dating back to the PPTA's review in 2005, and even then, teachers wanted to ditch it. It would take about 20 years to carry on to do this. The story of NCEA is about arse covering, ducking and weaving, and ultimately no one doing anything until Erica Stanford took the bull by the horns. We lied to parents. We lied to parents by publishing tables showing how well our kids were doing, and they were. The tables showed the arrow going up in achievement. That was a blatant beat-up, puffed-up nonsense to make us feel good. It was state-sponsored lies. But why did we do that? Every year, our domestic achievement went up, but our international rankings, compared to kids across other countries, has been in free fall. So we lied domestically, and the world told us the truth. For the last 15 years, we've got away with lying domestically and then being told the cold hard truth internationally. Last year, the results showed Level 1 NCEA for literacy and numeracy was 82%. No one believes that. No, when only 60% of people turn up. And it shows that this NZQA, which is an organisation now leading the charge for change, this is what they said in their annual report in 2023 about NCEA. Remember, they're running for change now. They said this: NCEA is widely considered credible and robust, both in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and overseas. It's recognised by employers and used by students as a stepping stone into employment, apprenticeships, and a wide range of further study options, from trades training to degree level study. What nonsense! They're now trying to change it by saying it's useless, but back then, look at that, 2 years ago, they said it was great. Those same people this week sat next to Erica Stanford and said it must change. Yeah, well, if you thought differently, Stanford would relieve you of your job. She's removed the detractors and the roadblocks because she says we've got to get this right, and she's right. And I couldn't agree more.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.